You are looking at Elfreths Alley between Front and Second Street in Old City. It includes Bladen's Court. This is 29 adjoining brick houses, mostly bay fronts, 2 and 2.5 and 3.5 stories, gable and gambrel roofs, including the Jeremiah Alfred House. Built at various times in the mid 1700s and the early 1800s, the 6-foot wide street is the oldest unchanged and continuously inhabited street in Philadelphia. It illustrates the typical side street urban dwellings of the 1700 artisans. Residents include cabinet maker Daniel Trotter, silversmith Philip Singh, pewter William Will. The alley opened between 1702 and 1704. At the end, we'll see Bladen's Court, which opened about 1749. As we make our way down the street, we'll see I'm not going to identify each building. This would be too much information, but Elfreths Alley is certainly one of the most visited tourist spots in Philadelphia. You might notice the brickwork, the Flemish Bond brickwork, narrow street. Elfreths Alley being one of the oldest continuously inhabited residential streets in the U.S., formerly billed as the oldest street in the U.S. until our friends in St. Augustine, Florida were nice enough to let us know they've been around a little longer. So now we say it's one of. It's in Old City, Philadelphia, dates back to 1703, exceptional collection of early American structures. Most of the homes are privately owned residencies, but 124 and 126 are Elfreths Alley Museum, run by the Elfreths Alley Association. Elfreths Alley was not included in the original plans for Philadelphia. As Philadelphia became a bustling city, artisans and merchants purchased or rented property close to the ports, where goods and materials arrived. This led to overcrowding, and landowners recognized that tradesmen needed alternate routes to the river. Arthur Wells and John Gilbert opened a cart path between their properties. It stretched from Front Street to Second Street in 1703. The path later became known as Elfreths Alley, named after Jeremiah Alfred, blacksmith and land developer. Philadelphia was the capital of the province of Pennsylvania, emerged as a major port and commercial city and central location for the thinking, writings, and planning that ultimately inspired the American Revolution. In the 1700s, Philadelphia emerged as the second largest city in the British Empire, after London. Following the American Revolutionary War, Philadelphia served as the nation's capital until 1800, when the new capital city in Washington, D.C. was constructed at the direction of the young nation's founding fathers. As you look at these buildings, you might consider this was built and these structures were constructed at a time that was about 2 generations before the Revolution, before even thoughts of freedom and independence from the British Empire were considered. The people that lived in these buildings were happy to be subjects of the British Crown in a British colony. It would take several generations before thoughts of revolution and independence were to come and be formulated and manifested right here in Philadelphia. And there we have it, Elfreths Alley.